In the Russell 2000, you're looking at the biggest sell-off now since June of 2020. And Katie, that's when you really see some volume, though, coming in heavy. You're up, what, 60%? Now, I know it's an early close, but when you're looking at volume up this much, you've talked about traders now, Katie, who, well, they're trading from home. So there's actually maybe some volume happening today.
Yeah, and it kind of makes it harder to brush off the losses that we're seeing. I feel like if this were a normal holiday Friday, that people would say, okay, well, these losses, they're coming on not too much volume. Not the case today. People are actively trading. You're seeing these losses on pretty heavy volume, Taylor.
And for, well, typically I say for our radio audience, because usually we're in a simulcast, but for our TV audience today, we're looking, as we always do, at some of the sector winners, some of the sector losers. There's actually some green on the screen when you're looking at days like today, but how much does this feel, Katie, sort of defensive, if you will, right? Some of the food and retailers, those are up 2.3%. Some of the technology, right, as we think about long duration assets with biotech and life sciences, those are some of the winners, along with pharma on days like today when we're really focused on the virus. Katie, just down quickly at the bottom of your screen, this is where things really start to get a little bit ugly. It's airlines, hotels, oil and gas. That is all off at least 7 to 10% on the day.
Well, Taylor, there's only 33 stocks in the S&P 500 that closed higher, but I found some of them, and you can really see that stocks are going right back to the pandemic playbook. Out front, some of those vaccine makers, Moderna up almost 21%, best day in over a year. Pfizer, too, closed about 6% higher at an all-time high. You're also seeing the stay-at-home stocks getting some love. Look at Zoom. It closed 5.7% higher, and this stock really needed it. It's down 34% this year. Remember, it had that big sell-off earlier this week after earnings. And Clorox, too, we haven't talked about this name in a while, closed about 3.7% higher, had been up closer to 4% earlier in the day. This is its best day since about January, I believe, Taylor.
And I'm going to make this quick, Katie, as I know you're going to walk on over and do AVAT, right, and check in on some of the volumes. But take a look at the decliners. And this, frankly, does not look good. But it tells, really, Katie, the story of today, right, with energy. Occidental Petroleum, one of the worst performers in the S&P, you're off about 7%. Live Nation, as we think about going out and going to some of the concerts, again, you're off about 8%. United Airlines and then hotels, those are some of the worst performers. You're off 6 to 10%. Katie, frankly, that really tells the story of today.
And Taylor, we've been talking about the high volume really the whole time I've been here, but we finally have some final numbers. If you look at the S&P 500, volume was 93% above its average 20-day volume. That is amazing, and it's amazing on its own, but it's also amazing when you compare it to how Black Friday typically shakes out. Typically, trading volume is up about 40% of its 20-day average, but on this day, with this sell-off, it was almost double its 20-day average.